TJ the Wheel Joe coming at you live. It is Monday, baby. Money Makers Monday, September the 23rd, 10:30 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. We're going to get into this thing. We are going to get into this thing. On this channel, we do a couple of things. We sell puts, we sell calls, we collect premium, and we don't make any apologies for the way that things are. Sometimes I say things the way they are, not necessarily the way that you want to hear them. Some of you guys are new to this channel. I'm full transparency. That is the only little moat that we have on this channel. There's no bullshit. We sell pulls, we sell puts, we sell calls, we collect premium, we show the portfolio full transparency. If success offends you, I'm sorry. Not really, but you know what I mean. It's just we make a lot of money on this channel. We have a lot of people on this chat that make a lot of money, and we're here to help each other out. The game is tough. So whenever you build a community, you have a chance to beat the game, essentially. So let's get into it, guys. We have a little method that we follow on the channel. We do the quote of the day, we do the portfolio update, we do live Q&A, and then I give you guys a biblical quote of the day at the end. And that's kind of the pattern. And we try to do it all in 45 minutes, an hour at the most. So let's get on with the quote of the day. Let me go over here and do this little timestamp. We'll go at the 2-minute mark for a quote of the day. So let's get into the quote of the day. I've already got it queued up, and here it is. We're a little ahead of the schedule on the timestamp. That's okay. Earn with your mind, not your time. Some person named Naval Ravikant. Never heard of the quote before. I like it, though. Never heard of the quote before, but I like it. Earn with your mind, not your time. I mean, guys, we all know how to go out there and trade time for money, right? That's like what we were taught as kids. Like, go out there, you know, get a good education, get a good job, climb the proverbial corporate ladder, etc. And we were taught from a very young age to exchange time for money. That's the American way, exchange time for money. But if you look at very, very wealthy people, it seems like there's a little bit more to it than that equation. They learn how to leverage money, time, and people so that those people can trade their time for money so that they enjoy a lot of financial freedom and time freedom. So whenever you can learn how to sell options at a very high level, you're going to make quite a bit of money, and you're also going to control the most precious asset, which is your time. So hopefully you guys can learn how to do that on this channel, is take control of your time, control the most precious asset, the most finite commodity there is in this world, and that is time. Everybody's on hammer with Bitcoin. I am too. The only 21 million. Oh my God, there's a finite supply. Even more finite than that is the time that you have, the precious seconds that you have in this earth. That is way more valuable than anything else. So that's why I'm always very thankful for people that tune in, because you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're investing, 30, 45 minutes, an hour of your time to be with us here so that you can learn a skill set that can hopefully change your life, down the road. So let's get into the portfolio update real quickly. Let me just update this little timestamp real quickly. We do our best to do this as we go, guys, so that I don't get behind. And people have really said that they enjoy these timestamps. It just makes it easier for them moving forward. So let me go find the portfolio and see how she's doing today. See if she woke up on the right side of the truck bed. You know what I mean? So here we go. So that's the portfolio. So the first thing we want to do is want to do State of the Union. How are we doing in compared to the major indices? Well, for the day, we're doing okay. For the week, not bad. For the month, okay, 7.42% for the last 3 months. Can't really complain about that at 20%. Year to date, we're hanging in there at 25%. There's a lot of people that are up at like 100% for the year and all that stuff. They probably got in a lot of Palantir and stuff like that. So it's It's all relative. It's all relative. We have some laggards in the portfolio. That's why we're not really crushing the major indices. I think we are beating them. We're not beating them by a lot, though. For the last year, same old type of thing, up 38%. That's a little more indicative of what we can expect as far as performance-wise. But when you have a lot of big positions on companies that haven't performed yet, like Tesla, SoFi, and Riot, for example, that's probably 50-60% of the portfolio right there, and they're kind of lagging year to date, it stands to reason that it's going to hurt your numbers a little bit. And all time in this portfolio, we're doing okay at about 41% all time. So not bad, not bad. Then we look at the buying power. How are we looking on the buying power? We've got 1.331 in cash. Margin total is 3.5, and we've got options collateral at 3 million. So if everything were to expire in the money and we took ownership of everything, that's the options collateral, the cash collateral, we'd be in trouble. We'd be in trouble. We'd be paying a lot of interest on a lot of stuff. So we're going to look at those cash secured puts and see whether or not the portfolio is potentially in trouble or if we're okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the options that are expiring this week. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 positions that we're navigating. We had a 7th one, but I already kicked the can down the road a couple of weeks. So we've got American Airlines $11 covered call expiring on 9/27. So for those of y'all that might be new to the channel, what's a covered call? It is an agreement to sell 100 shares of stock at a certain price on a certain day. In this case, it's 5,000 shares because it's 50 contracts. Everything's a derivative of $100 when it comes to options. So we basically said, hey, Mr. Market, I got these shares of American Airlines and I'm willing to sell them to you on or before 9/27 for $11 a share. And Mr. Market's like, cool, we'll pay you a premium for that. We'll pay you up. We'll pair you up with somebody that's wanting to buy insurance on some shares, and they would like to buy your shares at $11. But here's the catch. If American Airlines is trading at $14, you're going to be contractually obligated to sell them at 11 and don't cry home tomorrow because we paid you money up front to enter into this contract. You're essentially acting like an insurance agency here. You're acting like the casino, not the gambler. So that's where we're at. On 9/3, we entered into this agreement, about a 24-day agreement, and they paid us money up front, $1,300 or so. And now the way that it stands is we're doing okay. We could essentially say, hey, you gave us $1,350 up front. We'll give you $700 back right now. Close out the contract, unencumber our shares. We could do that. We're winning this contract. Or we can say, hey, let's let it ride because we agree to sell these at 11 and it's currently trading at 10.82. So I like our prospects. So now how do you gauge these things? You got to look at the Greeks. What are the deltas telling you? The delta is at 38. What does that mean? There's a 38% chance that we're going to have to sell these shares. There's a 62% chance that we don't have to sell these shares. We can put them on rinse and repeat, collect more premium down the road to sell them at a different price, potentially on a different date, or maybe at the same price on a different date. Bring more premiums through the door because you guys can see what they brought in $1,350 there. Also, the delta means for every dollar in movement up or down of the stock, that's how much you're gaining or losing on your options. So if American Airlines were to go to like 980, then this thing would go to like 95% because the chances of it expiring in the money at $11 or higher are going to be very, very slim. And that's also another terminology you're going to have to get familiar with is in the money, at the money, out of the money. In the money would be that if it's a covered call, it's above our strike price. Out of the money, it's below our strike price. At the money means that it's at our strike price, essentially. So that's what's going on with that one. Hood, we've got an agreement to sell 5,000 shares of Hood to $23. Hood is currently at 23.06. So as the crow flies right now, we're contractually obligated to sell Hood at $23, even though it's trading at 23.07. So we're essentially leaving 7 cents of capital appreciation. We got paid money for doing that. So I like our chances. We look at the delta. This is probably a 50-50 proposition. Yep, it's a 53 delta. So 53% chance we lose these shares right here. 47% chance that we don't. So here's the thing. What if you have a change of heart? And that's where rolling comes into play. You can essentially tell Mr. Market, hey, I want to roll this position. I want to kick the can down the road, say past Miami over here, October the 11th. That's going to be around the time that they're in Miami and doing some announcements. And we're like, I know I had this agreement to sell these shares at 23, but I like to collect more capital appreciation and sell them to you at, say, 23.50. So just for adding more time to the contract and increasing our strike price in this case, we could actually bring in another $1,350 in credit, give or take a few bucks. And we're now qualified for 50 cents more of capital appreciation. Rolling is a very, very powerful tool in your arsenal. If you're going to sell options, make sure that you understand all things rolling. NVIDIA, same thing. We've agreed to sell our shares at 125. NVIDIA is currently at 115. So there's a very little chance that NVIDIA will be above our strike price on or before Friday. And there's a 6 delta. So what does that mean? There's only a 6% chance we would lose those shares. 94% chance that we don't lose those shares, so we can rinse and repeat, collect more premium, more rent down the road. Now we got a big position here via a cash secured put on Riot. This is now it's very different from a covered call. This is not an obligation to sell stock. This is an obligation to buy stock at a certain price on a certain day. That is a cash secured put. You put the money up front in escrow. You say, hey, here's the money. I'm going to park it right here. One of two things is going to happen on expiration date. It's going to expire in the money or it's going to expire out of the money. If it expires in the money, it means that it's below our strike price. It's different than a covered call where it's above our strike price. On a cash secured put, it's going to be below our strike price. So we got paid money up front for agreeing to buy these shares at $7.50. The caveat was, the catch was, if Riot goes to $6.50, don't go crying home to mom. You know what it is that you signed up for. You agreed to pay $7.50 for those shares. And right now, we would have to buy these shares at $7.50, even though Riot is trading at $7.27. You can go buy them in the open market right now for $7.26, $7.27, $7.28. It's just the nature of the beast. We got paid money for doing that. And we've already rolled this contract once. So I like it. It's about a 50, 60 delta. Yeah, it's a 62 delta. So there's a 62% chance we have to buy these shares right here on Friday. And I'm probably going to be okay with it. Or if it starts dipping a little more, maybe I kick the can down the road another week or two, bring in another $3 or $4 grand like I did recently, $3,900 for kicking the can down the road 1 week. Did this last Friday. So we'll see what happens. But then we also have an agreement to sell 100,000 shares of Riot at $8. So, I mean, I'm going to win one of these trades for sure. I might be able to win both. What will be the sweet spot? About 755, 760 on Riot. So we've agreed to sell these shares at $8. It's probably about a 20 delta. Yeah, an 18 delta. So we're doing well. So that's what's going on with the expiring options. Oh, the last one is Snow. We've agreed to buy Snow at 117. Snow is at 111. So there's a good chance that we're going to own some Snow unless we kick that can down the road, and we won't know until we go on Amit's channel because that's Amit's trade that he's helping me out with. Everything else is for more in the distance. Let's look at the underlines. I've got them here on last price. So we got SoFi trading under 8. We got Palantir at 37.68. It's officially in the S&P 500, guys. Congratulations to all the Palantards out there. We've got PayPal that's on a run. We've got Riot that's doing okay. Tesla's on an epic run right now. Intel is doing very well after all the takeover trade talk. NEO is doing very well today. Amazon's pretty flat. TSLL is crushing it. We've got Hood. We're doing well. Open Doors a little down. VITX is doing well. CrowdStrike's flat. NVIDIA's flat. American Airlines is a little negative, but mostly flat. So that is what's going on. So featured trade that I want to point out is these right here. We got some backstop trades on TSLL, 773 puts, very, very big position, 600 contracts times $773. So it's a lot of money tied up. And they paid us a shitload of money for doing so. And we can already realize a 48% profit in less than a month. There's still about 3 months left in this contract. 4 months left in this contract. So these are very, very tough calls. This is a super easy trade. Do we just leave it on the books, or do we just lock in the win? That's the question. And then we got another one here at 673 that's even in better shape as well. So those are the things that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about all the gimmies and the gotchas and so on and so forth. So this one here, we're up almost 52% on. We got paid about 42 grand or so. And now we can essentially give back 20,400 and free up all that capital. $400, 400 times 673 bucks. So it's a lot of money, guys. So the question becomes, leave it alone, close it out, what to do. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Guys, it really depends on, do you have anything else to do with the money right now? Because those trades, we're winning those trades. We're more than likely going to continue to win those trades. Even if Tesla dips to like 220, we're still going to be winning those trades. So the question becomes, why close it? The only reason to close it is if I had something else that I legitimately wanted to be in that's going to give me a similar return, and I just wanted to lock in the win. Because locking the win right now, before January, taxable event. If I let it right past January, not a taxable event until next year. So those are the other nuances to consider as well. So right now I'm leaning towards not doing anything. I have it in my board over there. Maybe you guys can see it, maybe you can't. Is to close TSLL, cash secured puts at 70% profit, move the money to $5 right, cash secured puts January 2026. So I'm essentially saying I want to go from one backstop trade to another backstop trade that's just as high conviction and that is at a strike price that I feel like it's a steal of a deal. I think right at $5 for January 2026 is an absolute steal of a deal. They'll have over another year to prove their worth, that they're going to become the biggest miner in the world, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. TSLL is linked to Tesla, but it's an eroding asset from the standpoint of the NAV erosion and all of that stuff. Whereas I'm going to be taking that money, I'm going to put it into Riot, where there can be potentially more dilution and stuff. You got to know what it is that you're signing up for, right? Or, you know, if SoFi keeps dipping, maybe I look at $7 or $8 for January of 2026. I don't know. It's tough. So right now, since I'm undecided, the best thing that I can do is just sit on a winner. Somebody's saying sit on the hands. I'm saying sit on a winner. Sometimes the best thing to do is that arm folding technique that Mr. Premium told us about on this channel a year and a half ago, is just do nothing. Just do nothing. Sometimes doing nothing is the best course of action, guys. Sometimes doing nothing, not doing anything. It's like when my wife's like, I'm like, I'm not doing nothing. Doing nothing is the best course of action. So anyway, what say you guys? What say you guys? I think we're done with the portfolio update right now. So we're going to call it the 19-minute mark, and we're going to start the live Q&A. 19-minute mark. We're going to go live Q&A. And let's get into the live Q&A, guys. First, let me read the comments. What's going on, MK? What's going on, Champasta? Popcorn Ready, Ray. What's going on? Fifth like, appreciate you guys. If y'all can smash that like, man, the subscribe, that really, really helps out. I appreciate the 118 people that are rocking with me live here on YouTube. We got 207 people that have at least seen the link or whatever on X. Appreciate you guys over there. Appreciate it. So live lucky, man. Live lucky, baby. Black Clover. Live lucky. Picked it up at the Venetian in Vegas, or the Palazzo. I'm sorry, not the Venetian. It's right next door. What's going on, Daniel Garrett? What's going on, SJ? What's going on, Lurker? Lozzie? What's going on, Mr. G? Sam L. Ethan, good morning from Ohio. Right on. What's going on, Jarrett? Gentle Song, what's going on? Alex Soletta, appreciate you. Earn a living, raise a family, then you die. I'm telling you, there's got to be a little more to that. More to life than that. Scott Galloway says the only real currency is time, all else is secondary. It's hard to disagree with that. Justin, what's going on? Georgianne, what's going on? CR, hey, ITJ Wheeler, let's go. BTC miners, let's go. Oh, who said Palantir at 30? Who sold Palantir at 30? I'm about to sell it at 12. Those covered calls. Did y'all watch that Wheeler segment that Alex clipped? I gave it to y'all raw there, man. I gave it to y'all raw over there. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I'm not perfect. I could easily close that position out for a $3,000 or $4,000 loss early on. Now it's, essentially leaving $125,000, $130,000 of capital appreciation on the table. True story. Your advice doing cover calls on Hood if the event is a flop. I mean, it works as a nice hedge to the downside. Not to advise, you don't give financial advice just to make sure. Yeah. I'm going to leave my cover calls on into the event, guys. I mean, I'll hopefully be able to put a 24 handle on them or something like that, 25 handle. At that point, I just feel really, really good about it. Yo, TJ, what's the max percentage of portfolio you'll put in one position? I have a small account, so options over allocated me easily because of the leverage. Probably no more than 25 to 30% in one position. For me, I sold some at 25. Good morning, everyone. Mike K, what's going on? Shamu, giving away premium education. Appreciate you guys. Anyone going to the RH event? I will be in Irvine. For Riot conference, roundtable conference. So I'm not going to the Robinhood event. I did not get invited to go to the Robinhood event. Robinhood's not a big position in the portfolio. It's the brokerage that we use. But Robinhood's not a big position. So I'm much more heavily invested and interested in Riot. So let's say they were next to each other. I'm going to that Riot conference all day long because I'm more interested in that space. And I feel like everybody on YouTube is going to cover the Robinhood event anyway, so I don't have to be there personally. I always let my winners keep running. No reason to exit a trade going in your favor if you don't have a better place to put it. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. TJ Wheelers, what's going on? Jill O, afternoon Wheelers. I'd like to join your class or Discord. Please let us know how to. We don't have a Discord. I've got a membership where it's like there's $3 a month to get the wheel tracker. There's $10 a month to get the one-on-one once a quarter. You have the $25 a month where you get the one-on-one FaceTime once a month. Right now for this month, I'm doing them once a week just so we can kind of get you going on the right foot. And then there's the other package that's once a week, and that's the $99 package. There's only one or two of you guys that have signed up for that one so far. TJ from Florida. I'm not from Florida. I live in Texas. Look at the channel manager. There you go. Appreciate you guys. Sit on my hands. TJ, we need a full episode dedicated to complications of NAV erosion. Yes, I'm barely learning more and more about that, but I definitely think that we should get a couple of panelists together and maybe do an episode on NAV erosion. It's really, really good, really good suggestion, Daniel. Maybe you could help us out with it. Kind of want to do long cover call for AMC instead of trading SPY 2 days to expiration daily. AMC, man. I made money off AMC back in the day, short squeeze. That was a total accident. That is not anything I sat out to do. It just kind of happened. Excuse me. Hey, baby doll. My wife's always asking me questions that she knows I don't have the answer for, and I'm not even interested in the questions she's asking me. Married life, don't you love it? Hey, TJ, I have some 81 SPYGs covered calls. Worried about them. Do you see a bit of a correction before the election or just nonstop pump? I think it's going to be real choppy. I think it's going to be real choppy. I'm sure we'll have a couple of pullbacks along the way. This candidate said this, that candidate said that. Oh my God, the sky's falling. Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. The only thing that I can tell you for sure, is we're going to have a lot of volatility from now until the election. But I think that regardless of who wins, I think the market's going to pump. We will have a Santa rally. Santa Claus is coming to town. Make sure you're a good boy. Your name's in there. You get a bunch of gifts with money in them. What's going on, Vic? Hey, for all y'all members, guys, Alex came over yesterday. He set me all up with Calendly. There's the link on there. If you're at least in the $10 member status, the YouTube entry, you got to schedule through the link, guys. You got to schedule through the link. Me trying to manage this shit show of an Excel sheet file. That shit's over. That was not working. It was driving me crazy. I bought myself a job, a very low paying job, about $1,000 a month job. Not interested in that. I'm more in like the $1,000 a day category. That's the goal. So can't do that. I'm happy to help everybody out. I'm not trying to be your secretary, though. I'm not going to be the one in charge of scheduling all of this stuff. There's software out there. There's applications out there. Calendly is the one that we're rocking with. It's costing me like less than $20 a month. Alex set it all up. He's helping me monitor it. I tell him, hey, these are the days I'm available. These are the hours I'm available. All you have to do is click in there and set it up. There's been about 10 of you guys that have already set it up. So I appreciate you guys. That's the gym membership. It's your job to sign up for your time slot with the personal trainer, if you will. Appreciate you guys. Leave it. I closed my cash purpose tee up for year and should have held it a bit longer. Right on. Well, I thought it only sold at Aria. Right on. I think they're talking about the cap. What's going on, Dex? Joining your channel today. You've never let me wrong. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Alex, wow. Good for you, man. I'm looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you guys. Guys, I have really thoroughly enjoyed these FaceTimes. My wife was encouraging me to do this for like a year, and I just fought her on it. She's like, baby, you give them so much value. You're going to pour your heart and your soul into these people. They're really going to see who you are, and you're going to make friends. You know, you'll probably have like 100 people that over the course of 3 to 5 years, you're going to legit be able to call them more than an acquaintance. They're going to grow into a friend, and that never hurt anything. So it's just been really awesome doing these FaceTimes, guys. And I hope that we can keep this going, especially now that I got the help of Alex with Calendly and everything else. It's going to make it easy for me because like whenever we're out of town, I just scratch those days off. I can't do those days. And then I'm also going to be putting in some early mornings as well, or in the evenings, a couple of days a week to help people out that have like odd schedules. Because if my wife's sleeping, I could do that I could do FaceTimes. Like I'll talk stocks 24 hours a day if they let me, you know what I mean? So it's no skin off my back. Ren, what's going on? I see a TJ video click. That's my quote of the day. I appreciate you guys. Have you ever figured out whether Hood sells stocks? Have you ever figured out whether Hood sells stocks? I'm not sure what that means, Jared. Every upper rank, TJ, yo, Celsius to sell it, but right. Great quote, Drew. FIFO or I got you. FIFO. FIFO is the one. You don't get to pick, not yet. You don't get to pick your tax lot, not yet. Shaquille, TJ have a cover call for TSLL for 1250 for 811. Do you think TSL would form more than 15? And it's hard to say. I rolled TSL today. I had 1150 strikes expiring Friday. Kicked them 2 or 3 weeks down the road at $12. Got a nice credit for those. Excuse me. Thoughts on cash secured put on SoFi? I like them. 750, even $8. Mine down the road. I don't think you can go wrong. Live in Irvine. Right on, Brian. Right on. Already reserved 1 ticket for the Riot event. Not an investor yet, but wanted to meet you. Very cool. Look forward to meeting a few of you guys out there, guys and gals. Intel, with that Qualcomm merger news, looks cheap. would that be a cash secured put play? I think at 20, you probably can't go wrong. I think at 20, you cannot go wrong on Intel right now. I don't know if they're going to get, I don't think that's going to happen, guys. But it lets y'all know that big players are interested in Intel. So, there might be something there. Wow, this might be the high for the channel, guys. We're at 147 live on YouTube and 256 people have clicked the link. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. I think we found a time slot that really works for you guys. Can't stay and watch the show, but wanted to drop a big hello. What's going on, Dougie Dollars? 1 second, Doug. I hope you're still there. What up, Dougie Dollars? Hooking me up with the Palantir swag, my man. My man. Much love, brother. Can't wait to meet you in person. He just seems like an absolute beautiful soul. Yo, TJ sold puts on Tesla when it was much lower, made 3,000 on it. Right on. There's barely any bone left. I think it's worth 200. I want to buy to close. But when I look at the market, I don't know what to do. You got to lock in that one, bro. You got to lock in that one, take the money off the table. There's no reason to tie up that kind of money on Tesla when there's only $200 left. And cash is a position. There's nothing wrong with getting into cash. He's already realized 80 or 90% on that trade. There's no reason to leave it on, in my opinion. TJ Homie, please take a look at CleanSpark. Show us how you would think about wheeling it, brother. I've already made my bet on CleanSpark. So what I'm doing with CleanSpark is I'm selling cash secured bits at 750, giving time for the story to play out over there on CleanSpark, and just kind of letting them do their thing. This is the third round that I picked 750 for this expiration date. I had like 1,500 contracts at one time, guys. Made almost $250,000 on this position. So that's the way I'm playing it right there, guys. 750 for January. Don't even look at these. I don't even look at these. I wouldn't mind adding another 100 because I just think it's easy money. I think it's easy money. Like over here at CleanSpark at 750, it's 25 delta. I like everything about it, but that's the way that I would be playing CleanSpark right now. I'd get that easy money via cash secured puts. I may look to add another 100 to those contracts. So what else do we got going on here? Keeping it going. So puts on as everything feels so high, it feels like I should be buying puts, not selling them. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, and just keep in mind, selling cash secured puts in a bull run is kind of easy money too, because you could be in this trade for like a month and then close it out at 50, 60% profit a week later. And then you can always roll back down if things go through a little bit of a correction or a healthy pullback, if you will. Not even a correction, but just a healthy pullback. How do you overcome this? You gotta probably expand your watch list or study the holdings that you have. Because it's the thing is we have this bias that I've been paying, $15 and $20 for Palantir over and over and over again. That's cool, but is Palantir a better company now? So then maybe you need to start thinking, well, paying $24, $25 for Palantir makes a lot of sense. Because we have more information now. We have S&P inclusion. All of the things that we were betting on, all of that stuff's been confirmed now, right? So you have to make adjustments with the market. So instead of like immediately going somewhere else in a totally different sector, perhaps totally different stock, trying to build a whole new position over there just because you think it's cheaper. This is what I always ask myself. Is what I think is expensive today going to feel cheap 3 to 5 to 10 years from now? So, like, in other words, Palantir's at $37 right now. It seems really, really expensive. I agree. But is it going to feel cheap in 5 to 10 years? Probably. So we're going to be pissed off, just like we're pissed off right now that we didn't buy more shares at 7 to 10 or 6 to 10, whatever it was. We're probably going to be real pissed off that we didn't pick up more shares at $37, right? So again, it depends on what your horizon is. Averaging up is one of the hardest things to do, man. One of the hardest things to do. TJ, thoughts on NIO? I think they'll probably be at $6, $7 by the end of the year. I think the end of next year, they'll probably be north of 10 and deservedly so. NIO is figuring it out, man. This Onvo and Firefly off brands is really going to help them. The battery as a service, the battery swap technology, it's a very, very expensive project. They wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of the CCP. So I think that NIO is destined to win in a really, really big way, because it's kind of like you had NAV erosion with these ETFs. Well, you have battery erosion, right? With owning cars. I mean, the batteries give out before the car. So when you have a Tesla, like, what are your options? You got to upgrade the car. Whereas with NIO, you don't have that stress. All of that stress is passed on to the customer. So I think battery swap, battery as a service, is much better for the customer than it is the company. So I have to figure out, like, what exactly is NIO going to do with all of those batteries? Are they able to refurbish them and keep them fresher, because they're not constantly being used, because they're constantly being like swapped out, so they don't like get run into the ground all the time? I'm not sure. I'm unsure. That's the part of the puzzle that I still haven't quite figured out, but I think the prospects are very, very bright for NIO. What is NAV erosion? Net asset value. So that, and we're going to do a whole Wheelers episode on it here soon. I have 500. I think you're fine. I think you're fine. Good for you. Looks like somebody else just scheduled. Terrence just scheduled for September the 25th on Calendly. I'm looking at Calendly right there. It says get a notification there. You mentioned you're going to slowly switch from cash clear puts to poor man cover calls on SoFi. Have you converted most of your stake? No, not yet. No, not yet. So here's SoFi. So here's SoFi. So it's trading at $8. Got them at 774. So that part's cool. And then we have 800,000 in cash secure put collateral. That's right here. I got covered calls against those shares at $9. And then here's all the leaps. I've got 1,000 leaps at 10, 1,000 leaps at, or 200 leaps at 7, and 200 leaps at $5 for January. I'm going to start looking at buying leaps for June of 2026, except I'm having an issue with it because June's 6th. And then I got to look at the expiration date. I think it's also 6, and then the year's is 6, so it becomes you that 666. So I don't like that thing. So let me just make sure that I think that that's what it is. That's the reason that I didn't want to buy any for June. I just don't want that in the portfolio. Yeah, you see. Oh, so no, it doesn't. It's good. It's good because it's 618. It's not. It wouldn't be 616. So yeah. So I guess technically I could do those. I just something about that number doesn't appeal to me. I don't want it anywhere in my life or in the portfolio. So that is something that I'm looking to do. I'm looking to do some lottery leaps over here at the $15 range. I'd probably like to pick up another 500 of these or so. So that's something that I'd be very interested in scaling into. Maybe do 100 to start and just kind of like scale into them, see what happens. Maybe there's a pullback and I can get them a little bit lower. If not, well, then, I can write them up. And then these help me to be able to continue to sell aggressive covered calls on the shares that I have. So yeah, that's something that I'll consider, see what happens. See if we can get it filled. There it is. So started the long calls at 15. Those are total lottery leaps, guys. Total lottery leaps. Don't see me wanting to have more than 500 of those. So where's it showing here? So here it is right here. So I think I paid 114, right? Yeah, 114. It's already down $100. So then now let me go to the wheel tracker and show you how to annotate this. So the way you annotate that is you go to SoFi, then you go 923 sell call, and it's 6/18/26. It was a $15 strike, 100 contracts. The premium is going to be negative because we paid it, we didn't receive it. And you're going to see that the adjusted cost base is going to go up. It went up 12 cents, and it's going to go against all of the cover call premiums that we've ever received. There's that. So that's how we annotate that. That's where you see the call profit at 209,000 negative. The put profit's positive, but all in all, we're still okay, is because it's taken into account all of the long calls that we bought, and then I got to just put these on here, so I'll be able to look at them and be like, hey, that's a long call that we opened. So there's that. So that's what's going on with that, and that's about it. That is about it, guys. Where are we at here? Video on YouTube, studio. Here we go. Awesome. Keeping it going. Any more soon? Yes, I'm planning on doing one this week. Actually, I'm working on the content. I'm going to get hot on that a lot because I want to put all of that information in the can so that I can start practicing to do seminars in person. Vendor one on selling calls. How do you manage emotions of decision making? I hate being wrong and losing. It's just I just get out of the emotions and I just look at the math. Okay, what can I do to fix this mathematical equation that's gone against me? And that's really it. I don't have any emotional ties to these shares. These stocks are just tools that I use to manufacture the win. TJ, how and why did you get into selling puts and calls? I was in 2020, man. I was looking for something that I could do full time. Didn't want to be in the oil field anymore. We had just gotten laid off. I had suffered a very deep loss on a personal level. My wife, she took her life September the 5th, 2019. So I needed to make some changes because living out in the oil patch, being gone 60, 70% of the time wasn't working. Because had I not been spending all my time over there, maybe I would have been able to spend more time at home, been a little bit more on top of my daughter and her emotional needs and so on and so forth. So those are things that I learned, right? Those are very hard lessons that this life taught me. So I needed to make a change. And I knew that there was a lot of money to be made in the stock market. I'd already been in swing trading for a long time. I'd already been investing in the 401k for a long time, the SEP IRA, et cetera, the Roth. So I knew that there was something there that I was passionate about, but I needed to find something that I could really legitimately do consistently. And that's when I just, kind of looked into options. I looked at what's the most profitable, consistent strategies, and I stumbled on cover calls and stuff. This guy, Fred Medrano, pointed me in the direction of a video. It had nothing to do with selling options. It was just explaining options in general. And I just started asking around. And, as they say, the rest is history. What's going on, Vince? Scale in. Who bought Palantir at 25, dipped to 6, and never sold? I didn't. Workout prices you're interested in. How much will you pay for an assistant? Alex is my guy. So he helps me out with all this stuff. And I don't pay him a whole lot. It's all based on how much the channel makes. But I say right now, on average, I probably give Alex like $50 to $75 a month. Eventually, I could totally see it ramping up once we grow the channel to the vision. I don't know, $500 to $1,000 is where I would like to be cash apping him on a monthly basis, because he's very valuable to me, and I like the kid. I like the kid. He's met my family. He's just a real cool dude. His dad had the pleasure of doing doing a podcast with him, and it just seemed like an absolutely beautiful soul, beautiful family. Met Alex's girlfriend. I mean, it's just so he's my guy, and he's local, so that helps out a lot. Good morning, y'all. When are y'all coming to San Diego? Shoot. I think it's the 17th or 18th, something like that, of October. Nijinsky, TJ Wheeler's not comfortable opening cash puts on my tech stops at today's valuations. Open cash puts on Oxy. I like that. I like Oxy. I mean, assistance more for investing, time savers, right on. Yeah, reach out, man. I mean, I'm definitely always looking to help out more people and stuff like that. Wife is correct. Most of my friends are from BJJ and now BBQ. Kudos to her. Buy her a purse. She don't need a purse, man. She got so many of them. It's crazy. Learn so much, teacher. Amazing teacher. Thank you for your guidance. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, first in, last out. Yes. Hit the like. Appreciate you. Dougie is a gent for sure. Absolutely, Dougie. Appreciate you. Let's go, TJ. Love your speech at the end of Finance Junkies last night. Awesome, man. Yeah, y'all need to watch that. Y'all need to watch that. It was a good one. It was a good one. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. Focus on your psychological aspect of your trading. You can't expect to not to lose. No one wins all trades. Facts. It matters how much you lose when you lose, how much you win when you win. Find your risk tolerance and not deviate like that. T Billion, appreciate you. What was your takeaway from the miner talk yesterday? I loved it, man. I was on a Spaces with the Bitcoin mining mafia yesterday, and I learned a lot. So, I think there's a lot of them that are going to go up and to the right, and everybody has to place their bets. I've already placed my bets. They didn't say anything that was going to make me change my bets. That's the thing. Like, once my mind is made up and I know how to manufacture the win with my stock, it's real hard to get me off of that. And I know how to manufacture the win already with Riot. So, and I want to see the movie play out. I'm invested into it's like being in a 3-hour movie and you're like an hour in, but they're telling you that the other movie's like the bomb. So you're going to go forget about everything you did with your movie that you're watching. Now I'm going to go over there and try to catch up over there. But all the while you're still going to be wondering what the hell's happening over here. So there is nothing right now that makes me want to walk out of my movie. But I don't mind, selling some puts elsewhere and seeing what happens over there. Just let my money do the watching and the talking, if you will. But my energy and my interest is still in Riot for sure. Still upside left for Palantir. Kuko's still upside left for Palantir with 32.4. Man, I think so. Especially if we're bullish toward the end of the year. But just be careful, man. You gotta tread cautiously because Palantir is up 120% for the year. Hey, TJ, OG member plan. Where do you? I am on the OG member plan. Where do I see the new plans? I think there's a join button on the YouTube, I think. Thanks, man. You're amazing. Usually my portfolio is doing amazing. And usually when it feels this good, it's somebody that's been in the market for a while. Yeah, Alex, I think so too. I don't think that you can see them on the phone. Wow, that's crazy. And they built a plant next to Tesla. Tesla makes its own batteries. OEMs will license from Tesla. Like it. Are you gonna watch? No, I'm sure Mitt will do something, and I'll catch it on his channel, maybe on the plane, whenever I'm flying back home from California. Did you have any part of the family? Did you mention there was a WhatsApp group? Yes, there is WhatsApp. Get with Alex, and there's the link. I think is on a members only post on the channel. T Billion, there we go. Appreciate you. And Alex is on top of this thing, man. This on YouTube. Yeah, we're live on YouTube and Twitter right now. Alex, I'd like to be on this list as well. Math, I don't. Appreciate you. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Premium? One of the OGs of the channel helped me out to start it out with the first episode of Wheelers. Hey, Alex, just emailed you my number for the WhatsApp group. Right on. Alex is a proper young gent. Yeah, real cool dude. What is the minimum you think is the best to start? The minimum of what to start wheeling? I mean, hell, you can do it with $1,000 if you pick a little $8-10 stock. So it just depends on what your goals are. I mean, just to get your feet wet or whatever. When I first started, it was like with $5,000, prove the concept. I'm like, okay, let me get to 25, and then went 6 figures once it all started making dollars and cents for me. Have you thought about rolling your Palantir 12 to 13 bucks, an extra 8,000, unless he came back 60 grand a year, the 12 calls? Yeah, so there's that. It's 5,000 shares, right? So I move up $1, that's $5,000, and then I got to pay like 3,500 to do that. So my net is 1,500, and then I got to tie up the money for like another 6 months. I'm certainly going to make a lot more than that with 60 grand. So that doesn't make any sense financially, mathematically. Those shares are goners, guys. Those shares are goners. And I'm just going to have to look at selling some more cash secured puts on Palantir. I'd like to get up to 20,000 shares because that's going to dip me to 18,000. You have a separate portfolio also where you just use yes. My 401k. I only will half of the 401k. The rest of it is just sitting there waiting for 59.5 so I can get out of prison. So anyway, appreciate the 131 that are still rocking with us, the 332 that have clicked the link. Guys, I got to get going. We're going to finish off with my favorite segment here real soon. So that's going to be the 52-minute mark because I've got FaceTimes that I got to do. And it's going to be the okay, so here we are. So let's get into it, guys. This one here, I used to see it at my aunt's. She had a little plaque on the wall, and it was Hebrews 11:1, and it's what is faith? It's a substance of things hoped for, evidence of things unseen. And I was probably in junior high school, didn't really understand. I really didn't understand what it meant at the time. And then I got accepted to college at UT Austin, and I was at my aunt's house, telling her, my aunt Yolanda, may she rest in peace, like, hey, like, what's going on with that? Like, what is Hebrews 11:1? Like, what exactly? She was like the religious, like the fanatic, the Bible thumper of the family, right? She was like, oh, mijo, it's essentially just like you got to believe that something's going to happen, even though like the proof's like not right there in front of you. You can't really see it with your eyes. So you have to like believe it in your mind. You got to believe it in your heart. You got to believe it in your soul, and it'll manifest for you. So it's kind of like you're going to go to college, and the idea is you're going to put all of this work into college so that eventually you can get a degree. So you have to have like some degree of faith, some level of faith that it's all going to work out just like that. So it kind of started making sense. And she was like, and then faith is real important to God because it's like the only way that you can please him is with your faith. So she went off and kind of like gave me a whole sermon on that. And it was really, really awesome. So it's a scripture that became very near and dear to my heart. So Hebrews 11:1 is what is faith, substance things hoped for, evidence of things unseen. It's the ability to believe in something without the physical evidence of its existence. And that's essentially what it is to be a Christian, is you're going to have to believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior without any physical evidence of that. For you, that's tangible for you. You can't touch it, you can't see it, and any of that stuff. You can't use your 5 senses, right? And it's tough. It's tough, but that's the essence of faith. And it's such a beautiful thing. Like anytime that like my wife doubts me about any little thing, like closing the garage or whatever, also, and I tell her I did, we drive off, and I always see her like glance back just to make sure. And I'm like, baby, you need to stop being a doubting Thomas. I told you that I closed the garage. I need you to just exercise a little more faith. And she's like, I'll work on it. I'll work on it for you. So yesterday we left and she saw me push the button. I looked through the rearview mirror to make sure that the garage door indeed closed as we drove off in her fancy little Porsche. And I was so proud of her because she didn't look back. She wanted to, though. I could see that she wanted to. So she exercised a little bit of faith in the technology of her little remote and the fact that I was on the job and I looked at it. And if I looked at it and I told you that the job's done, the job's done. You don't have to verify it. And, and that's the thing, so it's just a little exercise. So in life, guys, you're going to have to exercise faith a lot. So you might not be able to see. You might be in this tunnel and you might not be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you just gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. There's a real famous person that says, if you're going through hell, why the hell would you stop there? Winston Churchill. Keep going. If you're going through hell in your life, keep going. Yeah, they're making a reference to Sodom and Gomorrah, where Lot's wife looked back and she was turned into a pillar of salt. So anyway, if you're going through hell in your life, keep going. Keep going. And there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. And we're just going to pray to God that it's not a train, that light's not a train. You follow me? There's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, whatever the tunnel is, man. September the 5th, 2019, that was my darkest day so far in this life. And who knows, there might be a darker day down the road. But as of now, I'm going to be 50, God willing, February the 5th next year. That's been my darkest hour, was getting that phone call at about 8 o'clock in the morning, from my former father-in-law saying, hey, this is an emergency. And then I avoided the call because I had like this feeling already, this pit in my stomach that I knew something was amiss. So I avoided his call a couple of times. And then I finally listened to the virtual voicemail and it said, this is Trini. We have an emergency. Essentially, I need you to call me back. And I knew as soon as I called him back, I knew that my world, my life was never going to be the same. I already knew it. He didn't even have to say anything. And I didn't necessarily know what had happened or anything before he officially told me. But the level of paranoia in his voice when I heard that message, I knew that shit had hit the fan. And I might even have it here on my phone still. Yeah, I have it right here. It's a 9-second message. And it's like 9:95. It says Trini, E says Grandpa. 9/5/19. I'm gonna see if it'll still play. And I remember sitting on the pot listening to this, and I fucking knew. Like I knew that my life was never going to be the same. So here it goes.
DJ, this is Trini. I need you to call me right away. This is an emergency. Thank you.
And I fucking knew. Like I knew. And I was like, fuck, man. I was like, I remember like I was taking a shit. Like true story, guys. And I can't even remember finishing the process. And I picked up the phone, right? And he's like, oh, he's fucking rambling. And I'm like, Trini, calm the fuck down and just tell me. Like, just tell me. This is TJ. You don't have to sugarcoat shit. Just tell me. I could tell that I needed to help him out. Like the guy couldn't get the words out. So I was like, I need to give this guy permission to just tell me whatever it is. I can handle it and just fucking tell me. And bro, he told me, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I don't even know what happened after that. Like, I just don't remember dropping to my knees. And it was crazy. It was fucking crazy. But anyway, guys, you're going to go through those things. Hold on. You're going to go through those things in life, guys, but you got to come out better. You got to fucking come out better. That's my plea to you, because life's going to kick you in the fucking nuts. I promise you. I promise you that it's going to be tough at times, but that doesn't have to be the end of it for you. It was obviously the end of it for my daughter, because she made that fatal decision that we all live with. And who knows how it affects her for eternity, right? Because you read the Bible, kind of go either way, because it's not your life to take. So you're not supposed to commit suicide. But man, you have to have faith to come out on the other side of things. Anyway, I got to get rocking and rolling. I am 1 minute late for the next FaceTime. TJ the Will Deal signing off. As always, may your sky stay blue, stock screen. Peace out. God bless you guys.